Good morning everyone. I am Rajita Tipparthi, PGT Zoology, TS Model School, Shankarpatnam. Today I am here on behalf of all biological science teachers of Karimnagar district. And this is the wonderful program initiated by our district authorities. As a part of this awareness program, specially meant for the SSC students who are going to write their public examinations in just 10 to 15 days, within 10 to 15 days. As a part of this, I would like to share some important tips, some ideas and points which are specially about SSC biological science. As you all completed your important exams as like FAs, practice test, pre-final test, I hope you all wrote well, and now this is the time for your final examination. Being a biology teacher, I am feeling very happy because the mode of conducting the science exam now in 2 days, for physical science and for biological science in 2 separate days, so that every student can write in a pleasant atmosphere with a pleasant mind, so that most of the students will get more 10 GPS this year. As a part of this awareness program, today I am here to share some important points regarding SSC public examinations. Now, I'll start with the discussion question paper pattern. Now, this is the question paper pattern. Here it is, the maximum marks are 40, the duration is 1 hour 30 minutes. The question paper has 2 parts, part A and part B. Part A 30 marks, which is for 1 hour 15 minutes, and next part B for 10 marks and it is for 15 minutes, and total 40 and the duration is 1 hour 30 minutes. Now, structure of the question paper. In question paper, as I said before, there are 2 parts, part A and part B. In part A, there are sections, section 1, 2 and 3. So, in section 1, the type of questions are very short answer type. The number of questions will be given are 3, and the questions to be written are 3, that means no choice in this section, and marks allotted for section 1 are each question 2 marks, so total marks 6. Next, in section 2, short answer type questions, and number of questions 3, this means no choice, and the questions to be written are 3 again, and marks allotted for each question is 4 marks. So 3 into 4, 12 marks. And next, section 3, essay type questions. Here number of questions are 3, but you have to answer only 2. So 1 question is for choice. Next, marks allotted for each question is for 6 marks. So that 6 into 2, 12 marks. And this is about part A. Next, part B. Part B consists of all multiple choice questions. So total number of questions are 10, and you have to write all, no choice, and each carries 1 mark, total 10 marks. Now I am discussing about academic standards. There are 6 academic standards in our biology. First one, conceptual understanding. In question paper, the allotted marks for this academic standard is 18 marks. And academic standard 2, making hypothesis, పరికల్పనలు చేయడం. And for this, allotted marks are 2. And third academic standards, experiments, ప్రయోగాల నిర్వహణ. For this academic standard, the allotted marks are 9 marks. Next, fourth one, information skills, సమాచార నైపుణ్యాలు. And for this, the allotted marks are 4 marks. And next, academic standard 5, communication through drawings. It is for 7 marks. And last academic standard, daily life utilization, application to daily life. And for this, 6 marks. And the total marks are 46. But the additional 6 marks is for the choice question. It is there in the section 3. Now, academic standard wise weightage shown in this table. So there are 6 academic standards. For each academic standard, the percentage has given here. For first academic standard, conceptual understanding, is for 40% weightage. In this, very short answers, no question, short answer type. One question will come from this academic standard, and one essay question is also come from this academic standard. And here you have to just see 8 multiple choice questions which are based on this academic standard, conceptual understanding, and which has the more weightage. Maximum weightage can be covered from this academic standard. So total 18 marks questions you are going to get in the question paper. Next, academic standard, making hypothesis. So the percentage, the weightage is only about 5%. In first section A, only one question will come, and there are no other questions will be given in the question paper, so that the total marks for this academic standard is 2 marks only. Now, third academic standard, experimentation. It is for 18%, and one question in very short answer type, and one question is in essay type question, and one more is in multiple choice, so that the total marks is for this academic standard are 9 marks. Next, fourth academic standard, information skills, and the percentage given to this academic standard is 8%. And only one question will come from this academic standard. It is for in the short answer type, 4 marks question, so that total marks are 4. Next, fifth academic standard, communication through drawing and flow charts. For this academic standard, it weighs 15% of weightage, and one question will come in essay type questions, and one in multiple choice question, part B, so that 6 plus 1, 7 marks for this academic standard. And last academic standard, application to daily life. Here 14% weightage is given to this academic standard. One is in very short answer type, and one is in short answer type, so that 2 plus 4, total 6 marks is given to the academic standard. So this is the total weightage of questions and the total percentage is 100% and number of questions for all academic standards for very short answer type are 6 marks and short answer type questions 3 for 12 marks and essay type questions 2 out of 3. 3 questions were given but you have to answer only 2. So that total 12 marks for essay type questions. And next multiple choice questions are 10 out of 10. You have to answer all the questions, so that total marks are 10. And the total question paper marks are 46, but you have to answer for 40 only. By analyzing the previous question papers, here I concluded the important academic standards which are going to covered in final paper are the questions from first academic standard conceptual understanding. The questions, the indicators are in the conceptual understanding are explains, describes, differences, giving examples and reasons. So we'll discuss these indicators one by one. First one, explains. So in conceptual understanding, more weightage is given, 40% weightage, so that different types of questions will come. Just like explain the process of blood clotting, explain the process of urine formation. Next, explain 4 R's, so that you can explain the process in an easier way. And later we will discuss how to write in examination. And next one, describes. You have to describe. First, here I'll give some examples. These are the not questions which are going to come in final examination. Just I am giving examples for each component. Describe the structure of heart and describe the internal structure of kidney and describe the process of cellular respiration takes place in mitochondria and describe the cell organelle chloroplast, just like. And the third component, differences. The differences might be, there are in each chapter there are few questions are given in improve your learning. Write the differences between arteries and veins. Next, write the differences between autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. And another question is like write the differences between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. And next component, giving examples. So the question that may come like write some examples for what are oviparous, give some examples of it. What are viviparous, give some examples of it. And next, invertebrate phylums. You can write with some examples. Next, last component in conceptual understanding is reasons. The question may come as state the reasons for malnutritional problems in India. What are the reasons for malnutritional problems? And what are the reasons for decreasing fossil fuels? How can we conserve? State some reasons. ఈ కాంపోనెంట్స్ అన్నీ కాన్సెప్చువల్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్కి సంబంధించింది. సో మ్యాక్సిమం వెయిటేజ్ 40% కాన్సెప్చువల్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్కి ఇచ్చారు, AS1కి ఇచ్చారు, కాబట్టి ఇవన్నీ కవర్ అవుతాయి. అండ్ మరిన్ని ప్రశ్నల కోసం సమాధానాల కోసం మీకు సంబంధించిన బయాలజీ టీచర్స్ని అడగండి. నౌ I'll explain the questions from second academic standard, making hypothesis. The questions will be like, what happens if? What will happen? What happens if heart valves are blocked? Then you can write, what happens if heart valves are blocked? The blood will not flow into the next chamber, so that ultimately the blood flow will stop, and that means the person will die. Next, what happens if blood not clot during injuries? Many times you fall down, many times we stuck up with some minor or major injuries, accidents. By the time, within 3 to 4 minutes or 4 to 6 prescribed time, within time the blood will clot. Otherwise, the blood profusely flow out from the body. That indicates some enzyme is missed its work. That clearly indicates that the blood, if not clot during injuries, finally most of the blood will flow out from the body. Ultimately, the person will die. Next, what will happen if peristaltic movements does not occurs? As we know that the peristaltic movements that takes place in food pipe, stomach. If peristaltic movements does not occur, that means the food will not pass down to the stomach, so that the digestion process will not takes place. Next, what happens if cell divisions does not takes place in organisms? Cell divisions, mitosis, meiosis. These two cell divisions are very important for all living organisms. Without these cell divisions, the extinction of life will occurs. So that cell divisions are very important to continuation of this life. Next, what happens if primary consumers removed from a food chain? So, as we know that food chain contains producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, and tertiary consumers. If we remove primary consumers, what happens? Ultimately, the number of secondary consumers will ultimately scarce of food. Without primary consumer, there is no food to secondary consumers. The secondary consumers cannot feed on producers directly, so that the entire food chain will imbalance, disturbed. That comes as your answer. Next, what will happen if there is no reproduction? So, without reproduction, there is no continuation of generations. Re means again, production means producing. The living organisms has the capacity to reproduce the other organisms. Without reproduction, there is no offsprings. That means generations. So, that comes as your answer. Next, third academic standard, the questions from this academic standard, experiments, prayogala nirvahana. So, mana textbook lo clear ga lab activity ani mention chesinavi only 6 unnai. Activities number of unnai, more than 16 unnai. But there may be chances of getting mostly from these 6. First, in this, especially from first lesson, hydrilla. There is a process to answer this type of question. We have to follow the experimentation process. It begins with aim. First, while writing an experiment in final exam, first you have to write the aim of experiment. Next, what are the materials required and what materials used for this experiment, you can write here. For example, if hydrilla experiment, if come in final examination, how can we answer? I'll explain. Here the aim. What is the aim of experiment? In hydrilla experiment, finally O2 is released. That comes as aim. Oxygen is released during photosynthesis. This comes as aim of experiment. Next, the materials used for this experiment are beakers, test tube, funnel, water, and one submerged plant that we are taking hydrilla. And next, incense stick to test the oxygen, whether it is released in this experiment or not. So that incense stick is also one of the material. Next, procedure. So you can write down the procedure step by step. First, we are taking 2 sets of beakers, 2 sets of test tubes, and 2 funnels and 2 hydrilla plants, and insert the hydrilla plant into the inverted funnel, and carefully the test tube, which is filled with water, which revertly faced on the inverted funnel, and the beaker has already filled with water. And finally, this setup, one setup will be placed in direct sunlight and one will be kept in dark room for clear observation. So by step you have to write down the points. So procedure step by step, 1, 2, 3 steps. And next, observations, and leave the 2 sets for about 3 to 4 hours. After 4 hours, what you have observed in that experiment, then you can write it in observation. Again, point wise. What are your observation? After 3 to 4 hours, inside the test tubes, we may find bubbles, small bubble-like structures. So that you can write in observation. And next, precautions. What are the precautions while we inserting hydrilla plant into the funnel, and how can we place the test tube over the inverted funnel, so that comes in precautions. And while testing the oxygen bubbles, we have to carefully take the incense stick near to the bubbles. By the time those points which we can write in precautions. And finally, diagram. The entire diagram which shown. For example, here hydrilla experiment. So these are the air bubbles, and this is test tube. So you have to draw a clean diagram. So each and every component is very important while answering this academic standard, experimentation. సో నేను ఇప్పుడు చెప్పింది ఇవే వస్తాయని కాదండి, ఇవి జస్ట్ నేను ఇంపార్టెంట్వి చెప్తున్నాను. ఇంకా ఇంపార్టెంట్వి చాలా ఉన్నాయి టెక్స్ట్ బుక్లో. ఫర్దర్ సజెషన్స్ కోసం మీ క్లాస్ టీచర్, మీ సబ్జెక్ట్ టీచర్స్ని ఖచ్చితంగా సంప్రదించాలి. I just explain only one lab activity for your understanding. There are some other important lab activities like CO2 heat is released during respiration, mammalian heart, mammalian kidney, rhizopus lab activity, bread mold, and testing leaves with acid. This is for role of mucus lining in the stomach during digestion. Next question from 4th academic standard, information skills, సమాచార నైపుణ్యాలు. So the components will come, first one as text or paragraph format. A paragraph is given, then just below the paragraph you can have questions from the related paragraph. Next pictures, next graphs, and most of the times we are getting tables. So I'll take one example for this academic standard. So here name of the phylum excretory organ given in this table. A clear information is given in this table. From this information you get 4 questions, because this academic standard will come in 4 marks question, so that sub questions will have for this question. Here 4 questions are from this table, 3 from table and 1 question is from out of the box, and you have to answer it your own intelligence. Try to think and answer it cleverly. First question, what is the mode of excretion in protozoans? Here protozoa phylum is given. The excretory organs are also given. Just you have to identify the answer from the table. So protozoa excretory mode or excretory organ is by diffusion, by simple diffusion. So here answer is diffusion. Next, Renneti cells can be seen in which phylum? So here phylum is given, excretory organ is given. Here the question is from here, Renneti cells can be seen in which phylum? Nematoda. So that the answer is Nematoda. Then you can get 1 mark easily. Next question, what kind of excretory organs present in arthropods? Here arthropoda phylum given. The excretory organs in arthropoda are green glands, Malpighian tubes. So you can write it clearly. So arthropods have these excretory organs. And now the 4th question, which is out of the box. What are the excretory organs that has vertebrates? You must know from these phylum who are vertebrates. Protozoans, nematodes, arthropods, all these are invertebrates. Here the vertebrates given in the table are only reptiles, aves and mammals. You should know, then only you can answer. So 1 question is definitely from out of the box. So think wisely and answer it. సో ఇలా మీరు ప్రతి టేబుల్ని బుక్లో అరౌండ్ ఒక 12 to 13 టేబుల్స్ ఉన్నాయి, అవి లెసన్ వైజ్. వాటిని చూడండి, క్వశ్చన్స్ మీరే ఫ్రేమ్ చేసుకోండి, ఆన్సర్స్ విత్ ద హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ సబ్జెక్ట్ టీచర్స్. ఎలా ఆన్సర్ చేయాలి, అబవ్ యావరేజ్ వాళ్ళు 4th ఆన్సర్ని ఎలా చేయాలో ఖచ్చితంగా ముందే ఒక రెడీనెస్తో ఉండాలి. బిలో యావరేజ్ స్టూడెంట్ 3 questions can answer, so that they may get 3 marks easily from this question. Fifth academic standard, communication through drawing. So in this standard there are 3 components: drawing, labeling and description. Here 6 marks question will come from this academic standard. So all these 3 components are equally important. I'll draw a diagram and labeling. Next I'll describe it. For your clear understanding, here I'm drawing the structure of heart. ఒక ఈజీ వే మాత్రమే చెప్తున్నాను. ఇంతకంటే మీరు బాగా వేయగలము అనుకుంటే మీరు అదే ఫాలో చేయండి. మీ టీచర్స్ కూడా డ్రాయింగ్ సంబంధించి చాలా ఈజీ మెథడ్స్ చెప్తారు, అవే ఫాలో చేయండి. సో ఫస్ట్ హార్ట్ అనగానే హార్ట్లో 4 ఛాంబర్స్ ఉంటాయి, అందరికీ తెలుసు. సో 4 ఛాంబర్స్గా డివైడ్ చేసాము. ఇది ఒక అవుట్లైన్ తీసుకుంటే డ్రాయింగ్ చాలా ఈజీ. చాలామంది పిల్లలు డ్రాయింగ్ ఏదో పెద్ద కష్టమైన టాస్క్గా ఫీల్ అవుతూ ఉంటారు, కానీ అంత కష్టమేమి ఉండదు. ఒకసారి చూడండి, అయిపోయింది. జస్ట్ ఐఎమ్ షోయింగ్ ద అవుట్లుక్ ఆఫ్ ద స్ట్రక్చర్ ఆఫ్ హార్ట్ సింప్లీ. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ అ డయాగ్రామ్ showing human heart. There are 4 chambers, and now later I'll explain the description. First the drawing is over, next I'll show the labeling, how to label a diagram. So many of the students simple గా ఎట్లా చేస్తారంటే, కొంతమంది ఇలా పెట్టేస్తారు దూరంగా, ఇలా పెడితే రాంగ్. లేబులింగ్ ఒక ప్యాటర్న్ ఉంటుంది. సో వాట్ ఎవర్ we are showing, that clearly touches, the arrow should be clearly touch the part. For example, here the arrow come from the part itself. So this is a valve. Next, these 2 chambers, upper chambers, atria, and these 2 lower chambers, ventricles, and one another big blood vessel, this is pulmonary artery. And one another big blood vessel here, this is caval vein, and it is also caval vein, so that this is superior caval vein or superior vena cava, and downside inferior caval vein. And here the diagram మనం ఇలా వేస్తున్నప్పుడు రైట్ సైడ్ లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ అని చెప్తాం. మనం ఇలా నిలబడి చెప్తే నాకు ఇది రైట్ ఇది లెఫ్ట్ కదా. సో నన్ను ఇప్పుడు మనం ఇలా చూసి రాస్తాం కాబట్టి ఇది రైట్ ఇది లెఫ్ట్ అనుకుంటాం, కానీ కాదు. డయాగ్రామ్కి మనకి పెట్టుకోవాలి ఇట్లా, అండ్ దిస్ సైడ్ రైట్ అండ్ దిస్ సైడ్ లెఫ్ట్, సో దట్ రైట్ ఏట్రియం, దిస్ ఈస్ కంప్లీట్లీ రైట్ సైడ్ and this is completely left side. Be clear with it. And another valve from right side in between atria and ventricle, that is tricuspid valve. And here I have already written bicuspid in between left atria and left ventricle. You must be very clear while labeling a diagram, because it is also equally important to get complete marks, 6 marks. So for drawing and labeling minimum 2 to 3 marks will be covered. for the detailed description 4 marks. Okay. Now I'll explain the description especially for below average student. Above average student ఎలా అయినా వాళ్ళు కష్టపడి చదువుతారు, మొత్తం ఆన్సర్ రాసేయగలుగుతారు. దెన్ వాట్ అబౌట్ బిలో యావరేజ్ స్టూడెంట్? సో ఇప్పుడు ఆ ఆన్సర్ లెంత్ చూడంగానే వాళ్ళు అసలు మొత్తానికే పక్కకు పడేస్తారు, స్కిప్ చేసేస్తారు. అలా కాకుండా నేను కొన్ని ఈజీ టిప్స్ చెప్తాను. హియర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద పార్ట్స్ which are showing in the diagram, then you can write it as sentences. First, so while seeing a structure, any diagram, so here I am explaining the structure of heart. So what is the shape of heart? That is the first point. The shape of heart is pear shape, or which is triangular in shape. So that comes as first point, triangular and pear shape. Next, size of heart. As we already know, what is the size of your heart? So we immediately say that fist size. So that comes as your second point. The heart is in size of clenched fist. ఇలా పిడికిలి, ఎవరి గుండె వాళ్ళ పిడికిలి సైజులో ఉంటుంది. సో దట్ కమ్స్ యాజ్ యువర్ సెకండ్ పాయింట్. Everyone can answer. Here while seeing the diagram, there are 4 chambers. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many chambers are there? 4. So 4 chambers are present in the heart. And in this 4 chambers, 2 chambers are upper side, 2 chambers are lower side. So that 2 upper chambers, 2 lower chambers. Okay. Likewise, we can sort out the simplest sentences from the diagram. Everyone can easily write minimum 5 to 6, so that you can get out of 4 you may get 2 easily. So for diagram 2 and for description 2. So total 4 marks will be covered by everyone. Here 2 upper chambers are called atria. So upper chambers are atria. Right atrium and left atrium. 1 point. Next, down chambers. Lower chambers are ventricles. Right ventricle and left ventricle. And there are 2 valves can be seen in the diagram. Right side tricuspid valve, left side bicuspid valve. Likewise, you can cover minimum 5 to 6 points easily. సో ఇలా మీ టీచర్స్ గైడెన్స్తోని సజెషన్స్తోని ఎంత హార్డ్ క్వశ్చన్ అయినా కూడా ఈజియర్ వేలో మీరు మాడిఫై దాన్ని కన్వర్ట్ చేసుకొని ఎగ్జామ్స్లో మంచిగా ప్రజెంట్ చేయండి. నెక్స్ట్ అకాడమిక్ స్టాండర్డ్ 6 అప్లికేషన్ టు డైలీ లైఫ్. నిజ జీవితానికి అప్లికేషన్, వినియోగం. సో ద క్వశ్చన్స్ మే కమ్ లైక్, ఇవే వస్తాయని కాదు, ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ ప్రతి లెసన్ నుంచి చాలా ఉంటాయి. అవి మీ టీచర్స్ దగ్గర ప్రతి లెసన్ నుంచి మినిమం 5 to 6 క్వశ్చన్స్ ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకోండి. నేను ఇక్కడ ఒక 4 to 5 మీకు ఎగ్జాంపుల్గా ఇస్తున్నాను. ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్, వాట్ ఫుడ్ హ్యాబిట్స్ యూ విల్ ఫాలో ఆఫ్టర్ రీడింగ్ ద చాప్టర్ న్యూట్రిషన్. So in nutrition chapter we'll already discussed indigestion problems, overeating, malnutritional diseases. So that every person should take balanced diet. That comes as your answer. So all nutrients are important: carbohydrates, proteins, fats, etc., vitamins, minerals, etc. So that ఫుడ్ హ్యాబిట్స్ అనగానే బ్యాలెన్స్డ్ డైట్, అవాయిడ్ జంక్ ఫుడ్, టేక్ ప్లెంటీ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ in intervals. So every person should take 2 to 4 liters per day. Next, what practices do you follow to keep your kidneys healthy? So how can we take care of our kidneys? So by eating fresh leafy vegetables, that means indirectly balanced diet, and drink plenty of water. Plenty means not more than 4, not less than 4. So approximately 3 to 4 liters per day of water is required to our body to keep our kidneys healthy. And moreover, avoid smoking and avoid alcohol. So these two will cause the damage of kidneys. And do not eat more carbohydrate food, glucose food, sugar food. Okay. Next, what advices would you give your elders to avoid edema? So edema అనేది మనకి lymphatic system లో వచ్చింది. Edema is nothing but swelling. Where the lymphatic fluid is accumulated, then the part will be swollen. That is called edema. సో ఎడిమాని అవాయిడ్ చేయడానికి ఎల్డర్స్కి ఏం ఐడియా ఇస్తారు, ఏం సజెషన్స్ ఇస్తారు మీరు? డోంట్ సిట్ లాంగ్ అవర్స్ ఎట్ ఏ ప్లేస్, మూవ్ ఇన్ బిట్వీన్. హియర్ జస్ట్ వాక్ అ లిటిల్ ఇన్ బిట్వీన్ లాంగ్ సిట్టింగ్స్ అండ్ డూ సమ్ ఎక్సర్సైజెస్ if we sit for long hours. And if more problem arise, you can suggest consult a specialist related to the problem. Next, how can you conserve natural resources and suggest some practices? So how can we conserve the natural resources? The resources which we'll get naturally are natural resources that you know well. So here water, fossil fuels, these are all very important. How can we conserve? By different practices we had already discussed in 4 R's rule. Reduce, reuse, recycle, recover. So by reducing the over usage of natural resources, we can conserve and reuse. After usage of some degradable plastic can be recycled and that we can reuse. The cloth after the usage of we may again use, that is reuse. Next one, recycle. Paper, plastic can be recycled. Next, recover. So recover, if we use, ఒకవేళ మనం వాటిని వాడేసాము మళ్ళీ వాటిని కొత్తగా రికవర్ చేసుకోవాలి. దట్ మీన్స్ బ్యాలెన్సింగ్. Just like deforestation, if we cut down the trees from the forest, again we encourage afforestation, plantation, we encourage plantation, that comes in recover. సో ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ మన డైలీ లైఫ్లో ఆ ప్రాబ్లమ్నే మనం ఫేస్ చేస్తే దానికి ఎలా ఆన్సర్ చేయాలి? ఫస్ట్ మీరు లిస్ట్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ మీ టీచర్స్ దగ్గర నుంచి కలెక్ట్ చేసుకోండి, దానికి ఆన్సర్స్ టీచర్స్ హెల్ప్ తీసుకొని ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకోండి. నౌ ఐ బ్రీఫ్లీ కన్క్లూడ్ దిస్ సెషన్. సో ఐ హ్యావ్ డిస్కస్డ్ analysis of question paper clearly. Explanation of blueprint has done. Understanding the question paper. Weightage of marks to the each and every academic standards. So these 4 components will be covered clearly. Next, presentation of answers to get good marks. So to get good marks, how you present your paper. So first, everyone should have a neat handwriting. The font size should not be big or should not be small. So minimum font size is required. So neat handwriting is required. And next, keywords, bullet points are important. That should be clearly underlined. You can use black pen and blue pen. For headings and for keyword underline, you can use black pen. And next, about diagrams, just draw a neat diagram without any mistake of labeling. Next, don't highlight the errors, mistakes. If you unexpectedly write a wrong sentence or a word, don't highlight it. Just strike it with a simple line. That's it. And draw a line with scale after every answer. This makes your paper a neat look. Next, tips for attaining minimum pass marks for slow learners. The main motto of this awareness program is maximum about slow learners to minimum pass, to pass. Here, slow learners should focus on diagrams, especially diagram based questions, diagram and labeling. At least you will get minimum marks. And next, focus on lab activities, important lab activities. And next, information skills, you can get minimum 3 to 4 marks from these tables. So focus on tables. And next, concentrate on application type questions. సో ఇందులో ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ కోసం మీ సబ్జెక్ట్ టీచర్స్ని ఖచ్చితంగా కన్సల్ట్ చేసి మంచి మార్క్స్ తెచ్చుకోవాలని కోరుతున్నాం. నెక్స్ట్, స్పీడ్ అప్ రైటింగ్ స్కిల్స్. దిస్ ఈజ్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ బికాస్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఓన్లీ 1.5 hour time to write all the questions. So if you don't write all the questions within time, you cannot get good marks. So that time management is very important. So within time you can answer, you can write with a neat handwriting, without errors, with neat label diagram and detailed description. Every aspect, every component is important. So that we can divide the time. 90 minutes of time we have to answer 8 questions and including 10 multiple choice questions. So I'll give you a small suggestion so you can adjust your time accordingly. For section 1, 2 marks question, very short answer type questions. There are 3 questions, I already told that. So each question you can take 5 minutes of time to complete it. So 3 into 5 minutes. So 15 minutes. So within 15 minutes you can complete first section A, section 1. Next, section 2. So each questions you can take 10 minutes of time. So 3 questions, 3 into 10, 30 minutes. So next, section 3, essay type questions. You can take, here in this section we have choice. 3 questions were given, but you have to answer 2 questions only. So 15 minutes each. We can 2 into 15 minutes. So total 30 minutes. So part A will take 75 minutes on a whole. Next, part B, bit paper. Here prescribed time already mentioned on the paper. So 15 minutes time. Within 15 minutes you must answer 10 questions. So that 90 minutes. So be careful while writing. And time management, concentrate on time. Okay. And last one, effective utilization of study materials. Already prati school ki we got abhyasa deepikalu, prati subject ki vachai. So make use of them, and after every lesson there are questions already given in the abhyasa deepikalu. Make use of them and try to answer ద క్వశ్చన్స్ విత్ ద హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ సబ్జెక్ట్ టీచర్స్. సో మీ బయాలజీ టీచర్స్ని కన్సల్ట్ చేసి ప్రతి అభ్యాస దీపికలో ఉండే ప్రతి క్వశ్చన్కి ఆన్సర్ ముందుగానే రాసి చదవండి, బాగా ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి. అండ్ ఈసారి మనకి అడ్వాంటేజ్ స్పెషల్ డేలో ఎగ్జామ్ని కండక్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి మోర్ 10 GPAs తెచ్చుకోవడానికి ఛాన్సెస్ బాగా పెరిగాయి. సో మేక్ యూజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్ అండ్ ట్రై టు గెట్ గుడ్ రిజల్ట్. ట్రై టు గెట్ 100% పాస్ పర్సంటేజ్. మన డిస్ట్రిక్ట్కి ఒక మంచి పేరు తీసుకురావాలి. థ్యాంక్ యూ.